What's up, everybody? King of Fomo here, coming at you with your daily crypto update. A lot of movement and a lot of action going on over here on Pulsechain. We've been talking about a lot of different dapps, and I'm really so glad that there's many dapps coming out on Pulsechain because it gives you stuff to do when the price is not doing so hot. So, it gives you opportunity to make more USD or make more yield over time instead of just worrying about the price of Pulse or Pulse X. So that's one of the reasons why I'm covering so many of these different platforms, and today is no different. We're going to be talking about WhalesCandy, another promising platform over here on Pulsechain. Now, you guys should be glad that I brought this to you a little bit late because this is a platform where it actually might benefit you from joining, a little later than day one, definitely later than day one here. So we'll get into WhalesCandy. Another thing I want to mention, I want to get into this before the end of the video. Strong Hands 3D as well as 9inch are two other Pulsechain dapps that we've covered in the past couple days, and they're potentially lucrative opportunities. Strong Hands 3D is doing pretty well. I put about 400,000 pulse in here, 500,000 minus the fees, and you can see that I've earned about 16,747 pulse so far. So this is looking nice. If you put in more respectively on the same day, you should be up about maybe 1%, 10% so far from what you put in. So not too shabby right there. And 9inch is continuing to grow. My sacrifice points here are still a little bit higher, actually a little bit lower from before because more people are sacrificing. Oh no, it's higher. So yeah, this is the amount of sacrifice points that I have all together. So that did go through. I didn't show you guys that in my last video when I did that transaction. But let's get into the topic of today, WhalesCandy. What is this thing? So WhalesCandy is an interesting type of auction smart contract, right? It's an auction / staking smart contract. So I'm not really going to go too deep into the details. You guys can look at the white paper and kind of read about all the nitty-gritty details yourself, but I'm going to explain how this thing works. So every single day you have 2 million WhalesCandy that are being released to the public, and you have the option to enter these auctions and take a piece of that 2 million WhalesCandy. So this WhalesCandy that you get at the end of that day, at the end of that auction, whatever the amount may be, which we'll talk about in a second, once you get that in your hands, in your wallet, you're able to go over to this staking contract and earn some dividends with that staking contract. So that says down here, what is the staking APR? WhalesCandy has a staking APR of 100%. So you're able to get 100% APR on your WhalesCandy and sell that for profit over time. Now there's a lot of other stuff to unpack here, but that's the gist of how this works. You get into the auction, or you obtain some WhalesCandy in one form or fashion, one way or another. You go over to here in the staking contract, you stake it, and you get APR from that. So again, that's what we're really talking about over here on Pulsechain, is just different ways to make money with your Pulsechain tokens instead of just sitting there and waiting for the price of Pulse to go up. Alright, so let's go into a little bit more detail about how this thing works in the auction. So again, like I said, there's 2 million tokens up available every single day. Now, this is where it's sort of luck-based. Depending on the day that you get in, depends on how much WhalesCandy you're going to get at the end of that 24-hour period. So you can see right now we're on day 13. If I were to enter this auction right now, I'd get a crap ton of WhalesCandy compared to everyone else, right? I'd get, for every single one pulse that I put in, I'm going to be getting 0.08 WhalesCandy, right? Compared to day one, for every single one pulse that I put in, I would be getting 0.001 WhalesCandy, which is a lot less. What is that? That's almost 10 times less. So was it 80 times less? A lot less anyway. But nonetheless, this number is going to go down at the end of the 16 hours. There's going to be a lot of people that put some pulse in here, and then the number will probably look something similar to this at the end of the day, 0.006 WhalesCandy per one pulse. So that's where the luck factor comes in. So how does that number change? Well, if more people are putting in pulse for the day, you're going to have a lower amount of WhalesCandy that you're going to be able to claim at the end of that day. If less people are putting in pulse, you're going to have a higher number of WhalesCandy. So that's where the gamification comes in. So there's a lot of different ways to play this. You can really roll the dice and just do one big buy on one day, and hopefully you get lucky. For example, if you were a person that did this on day day 6 or day 8, you got the highest yield, right? You got a lot of WhalesCandy back for risking it all on day 6 or day 8. If you risked it all on day 1, you did not luck out. You got a very, very small amount on day 1. So what a lot of people decided that they're going to do is they're going to diversify, right? They want to get a dollar cost average of this amount of WhalesCandy per pulse and buy from a couple days in a row. To really get the best price possible, or the average price. So it's up to you what you decide, what you want to do, if you decide to jump into WhalesCandy, if you're going to buy it all on one day or not. Now, the other thing that they have here is you do have something called a referral code. Now, I'm not sure if this referral code is two-sided, so basically what happens is after you enter your auction and this 24-hour timer goes to 0, this button will change from enter to claim. You click on the claim button, you're able to take your WhalesCandy out, and you're able to enter a referral code when that claim comes up. So it says that there's a 5% bonus when you enter that referral code. Now again, I'm not sure if that 5% bonus is one-sided, as in only the referrer gets that 5% bonus, or if it's two-sided, as in you get it as well. But it doesn't hurt to add it if you want to try that out. If not, you'll probably still get you'll get a good amount either way, right? So the referral code is optional if you want to put that in. It will be in the description below. So that's the main gist of how the auction works. So that's how you get your tokens. So let's go ahead and move on over to staking, and we'll read through some of this page FAQ as well. Once you have your WhalesCandy tokens, you're able to stake them, right? Stake your WhalesCandy to earn dividends and bonus tokens on them. Staking APR is 100%. So if we scroll down here and we kind of read through this page FAQ, one of the things to note is you might say, well, WhalesCandy's on Pulsechain now. And this is how I sell my WhalesCandy. So why don't I just buy a bunch of WhalesCandy on Pulsechain? Well, the thing is, there's a 15% tax on all purchases through Pulsechain. So that really disincentivizes people to buy WhalesCandy on Pulsechain and incentivizes people to either go into the auction to get 15% more tokens, or to do this discounted buy and stake, which is coded in the contract to take out that 15% fee, and you can immediately purchase the WhalesCandy tokens at the fair market value, the average of whatever it is for all those days, and stake them this way. So you have sort of 3 options, and one option is obviously something you don't want to do. You don't want to buy WhalesCandy on Pulsechain, right? So again, once you do this, you're going to stake your tokens, and you're able to claim those rewards from your stake. And once you claim those rewards, you're able to sell those tokens over on Pulsechain. So take a look at the chart here. This is what the WhalesCandy chart looks like, and it looks like a little funky like this because of the way that it's coded. It's coded to do buybacks every couple days, and when they do that, they have like a percentage of what they're buying back and burning. So they get either 1%, 10%, 20%. So that's why these massive spikes. That's the contract buying all of those tokens up and burning them, so you have a nice higher price to be able to sell yours at, and it helps keep the price stable, more stable than normal. Okay, now again, before you gung-ho, ape into this, there are some risks associated with this. About halfway through this video, and I do want you guys to be aware of, it's not perfect, right? You're not going to see this chart look like this all the time. You're just guaranteed to make money. That's never the case in anything crypto. So keep that in mind before you get to the end of this video and start buying. Make sure you listen to the rest of it as well. All right, so that covers how you buy and sell your WhalesCandy tokens. So some other things. The way that the staking works is when a user stakes their WhalesCandy token, they're going to receive 1% a day for 365 days. So if you stake 10 let's say 100 WhalesCandy tokens, you're going to be getting 1 WhalesCandy token every single day for 365 days, which is going to net you a grand total of 365% at the end of that period. Actually, it's a 265% because 100% is getting back what you put in initially. Okay, so that's how that works. That's where your profit is going to come from that 1% daily. Okay, so there are other things that are associated with this. This is where some of the risk comes in with this. Right here it says, are there staking fees? Well, yes, there is a staking fee. So when a user stakes their WhalesCandy tokens, they must pay 2 USDC every single week per stake. That means if a user has 3 active stakes, they're going to be paying 6 USDC. Okay, and again, none of this stuff is going to the devs' hands. The whole contract is coded so that there's no shady business going on, right? There's no developers, making a 10% fee and has hidden fees that go into their pocket, really, within this system. So I really do like that. But yeah, there are fees associated with this, so you need to make sure that you have USDC in your wallet every single time that you claim your rewards, right? So if you don't have USDC, you're going to run into an error because you're not paying that $2 fee. And again, that $2 fee is going back into the contract to support the system, to support the sustainability in the long run. Okay, so that's how that works. Again, that's a huge thing that people need to know. If you aped in before you listen to this part of the video, you need to have USDC constantly in your Pulsechain wallet in order to claim. Make sure you have like 10. I would keep it at 10 at all times, just so you're not scratching your head every single time you're trying to claim here. All right, so that is how the staking works, and it gives you a little bit more information. It talks about the contract. So the contract's going to be right here. You can see how much pulse the contract has overall, and the chart, we went over that as well, and it gives you some information about how to acquire pulse. But you guys should know how to do that if you're watching my channel. There's plenty of other videos that explain how to get pulse if you have no pulse chain whatsoever. So that's the gist about how this thing works. Now, it's an interesting contract overall. These auction contracts, there's positives and negatives. They can be really, really good, especially in the beginning, like the first kind of half of their life. But do keep in mind, I've seen a lot of these contracts sort of go bust towards the end. And what happens essentially is, if nobody is purchasing in on WhalesCandy, then it really messes up with the liquidity, the buyback and burns, and the price of everything, and things can collapse pretty quickly. So it might end up being like on day 180 or day 300, you're getting a ton of WhalesCandy per pulse, but they're worth nothing because nobody's been buying for the past 2 or 3 weeks. So that is a risk that is associated with this. If you guys are wondering, well, how does this contract fail? Yeah, well, that's one of the ways. If nobody is buying into this auction for an extended period of time, then the contract will collapse in on itself, essentially. So that's the risk that's associated with this. I want to be fully transparent with you guys so you don't lose everything, not knowing how these things work. All right, so that is everything for today. Check out WhalesCandy. If you guys are not members of my Patreon, consider becoming a Patreon to get access to my Discord and access to all these videos earlier than everyone else on YouTube. On my Discord, actually, someone mentioned some more Pulsechain dapps over there that I might be covering later on this channel. So if you guys want to get an early look at some of the new Pulsechain dapps that are out there and just new stuff in general, then that Patreon Discord will be helpful. Just message me on Patreon if you don't have the link to the Discord, and I will get that to you as quickly as I can. All right, guys, that is everything for today. Like, comment, subscribe, and again, you can also comment on YouTube if you have things that you want me to talk about on YouTube. I read through those comments and I try to, cover what I think is good. All right, I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace out.